when my interviews go awry, it's all based on basically the same question. And so you would think after 20 years I would stop asking the question. But basically it's how do you... The question seems to get me in trouble in interviews because it applies to me and I want to know the answer, is how do you deal with criticism? You know, how do you deal that? Like, it's a question I love to ask famous people, except it doesn't seem to land. But this was a long time ago. I can't remember which movie it was. I was in Charlotte at the time. It's probably almost 20 years ago. And this was like, pretty early in the days of the World Wide Web. Relatively early. And people were starting to review movies online, and, people would go to the screenings. And I don't think that nobody was prepared for that. Nobody was prepared for the accessibility to the information. Right? Like they would, they used to have screenings, and the only people who would tell you what happened in the movies were the people that wrote the newspapers, right?
Right.
Like that was the only way you'd know, or the people on TV, or like Ebert and Roper or whoever on, whatever. That'd be the only way you'd know if the movie was good. Well, now anyone who had any opinion about anything, as we've learned, could just write on the internet. So he was on the show, and he was getting bad reviews on a movie, and I said, and I asked the question poorly, but I was like, hey, Nicolas Cage, people online are saying this movie sucks. How do you deal with that? That's basically what I said. And he was like, and he didn't know what to say. He was like completely taken aback. And I was like, well, no, I mean, I don't know that it does suck, but I'm saying, like, this is a new thing now where anybody can say anything. And he was like, well, I don't even know who would be, like, it hasn't even screened, so I don't even know who would. And so the conversation became about, and he was fine, but the conversation became about, like, what are we going to do with these? What are we going to do in this new era where anyone can say anything? And, like, I don't even know who really saw the movie and who didn't, because there's no way to verify it. And then he talked about criticism in his career and the whole thing. Oh, my God.